But I went to the Trunk Music 3 release party. It was at a random shithole bar in Sherman Oaks. MGK pulled up. It was a moment.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit.
That's the night I met Gangsta Boy on your bus.
I can't. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly, with that party.
It was super small, dude.
Well, I was like, if I'm gonna go to
this Oyster House.
Well, if I'm going to LA, I'm gonna do it at a dive bar.
At the time you were pushing your creek water.
Yeah, you were pushing creek. I'm gonna do a dive bar, fucking LA thing. Psh, you don't do that shit in Los Angeles, man. It's like
it was wild.
They didn't. That's some Nashville shit. You know what I'm saying? Like hindsight's 2020. I would have taken it down at least to the Rainbow or the Viper Room or somewhere on Sunset. Right. You know what I mean? So,
well, I was gonna say like it was such a big deal.
MGK pulled up like
I think that was 2019, right? That was 2019 when that album dropped. But up until that point, like for your fans and his fans, like you guys shared so many fans. You guys had this weird like feud that wasn't really about much. You know,
MGK?
The MGK thing. Well, I was going to say, can you walk us through how you guys ended up ever communicating and squashing and moving forward and all that for the fans who don't know?
Yeah, well, MGK was just coming up super young.
You called him out on my show.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he was coming up. He was super young. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But he was super young, and I was on Warped Tour at the time, and I was like, you know, part of my stage performance has always been, you know,
crowd surfing.
Throwing water, crowd surfing, mosh pitting, and he made some kind of comment, I believe at the time, was like, nobody needs to be crowd surfing, mosh pitting, throwing water, or whatever. This is my shit, you know.
He tried to claim that.
Well, yeah.
But he was young, like you said.
Yeah. He was young, and he might not have even been talking about me in particular. I mean, it may have been somebody else. I say in particular a lot these days.
Yeah, it's a good thing to say, in particular. Yeah, I like it.
I'm going to shake it. I'm not saying it for the rest of the interview. I'm over it.
Well, all right, well...
So he made a comment, and I made my thing. I was like, "Yo, you know what? I don't know what I said, but
you said say my name, dog. You said say my name. It was like before Walter White said say my name. You were in my interview. You're like say my name on a record. It was aggressive.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was coming in hot, man. You know, I was fucking.
But you guys had this this thing, and then
so I saw him at a trade show like about 3 or 4 months later. I think it was SIR trade show, as a matter of fact, in LA. And I walked up to him. I was like, "Damn, this fool's tall."
Tall fool for sure.
And I was like, he was like, "Yo, can we?" That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, "Damn, I gotta box this tall ass motherfucker. Like, this is not gonna go well."
He's a lanky guy,
or is it either gonna go really good for me or really bad for me? But okay. And so I just walked up and I was like, "Yo, what up?" He was like, "Hey man, can we talk?" I was like, "Yeah." And then he was, you know, he apologized. I apologized. That was it. There was nothing else to say. And time went by. We never did a record. At that time, I was like, man, you know, like honestly, let's just do a record. You know what I mean? And just squash this whole shit. Because like my fans were acting stupid.
For sure.
Real stupid. Like putting Slamerican banners on the side of his bus and doing dumb shit. You know, taking selfies. And I was like, this is stupid. Man. This is getting out of hand. Like I didn't. That
you're a great guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. So years later,
song came out hard.
Years later, DJ Paul says, "Hey man, we're working on a Trump Music. Fucking what is it now? 3.
It was 3. Yeah.
How was you don't fuck with 3?
I like 3 a lot. I love 3. The record with Doobie's hard as fuck.
Yeah,
great album. I love 3. 3's.
I thought 3 was crazy.
No, I agree.
2's got some classics on it.
To me, 2 though is just like peak willpower.
Well, you know what? Good point.
Because to me,
because in 3, willpower was not fully present. Because I had willpower in my house when I did too.
It was Bach Chevy 4 where he just freaks the instrumental for like 3 minutes at the end, and it's just like it was like almost like the closest thing to a hip hop solo there is.
Oh yeah. We went crazy on that one.
But no, I love. I mean, listen, I love both.
Appreciate it.
3 is amazing. Love 3.
Thank you. Well, DJ Paul was like, we're making Rowdy. And by the way, it was Bout It. If you bout it, say you bout it. I'm bout it. I'm from the city that is bout it. No, it's Bout It. But we couldn't
clearance.
get in contact with Master P or nothing. And Paul was just like, man, fuck it, we'll call her Rowdy.
You rowdy.
Yeah.
Say you're rowdy.
He goes, hey man, go get MGK and Eminem, and we got the craziest record of all time. So he's like, y'all 3 white boys, get out of here. It's gonna be crazy. And I was like, that's not a bad idea, actually. So I recorded it and fucking sent it to Marshall, and shit. Next thing you know, Marshall fucking went crazy on MGK. So.
Yeah, they had to kill Sean.
And I had to.
I actually think MGK won that battle.
I had to pivot, do my thing.
Yeah. Because there was, I feel like, was there? Did they? Because that came out. That was your last album on Shady, right? Trunk Music 3.
Was it?
I believe it was.
Yeah, I think so. Because after that was my independent release, Ghetto Cowboy.
Was there any pushback from Shady having MGK on the album at the time?
No, there was no. Nah, Marshall was all about it. Marshall, like, respectfully, I did tap in.
For sure,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't fucking not a fool.
You're jumping off a fucking cliff.
Nah, dude, I'm not like. Because to be honest, it was like if you say no and you say go to war, then
let's go.
It's curtains,
right?
Like, respectfully on some hip hop shit.
Of course.
Tap in with the sensei.
Yeah.
So I did, and fucking, he was like, nah, man, like, people want to hear that, and it just, I've always had a lot of respect for Marshall. Obviously, I've looked up to him for years. But that moment was kind of like, damn, man, you really give a fuck about me. You know what I mean? Like, you really care that much.
To put the other shit aside and be like,
yeah, and let me live.
I respect
knowing that I had invested this before I knew this happened. Mm-hmm. I was just like, man, you're a G, man. I got nothing bad to say about Shady or that whole time I was there. There's, we bumped our heads on the first album, like
Radioactive.
Creatively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember.
But
I remember you. I mean, you recorded most of that album in Vegas.
All of it.
Yeah. At Maul's house, and then
some of it in Detroit. Like, we did Heartbreak in Detroit.
Let me tell you about Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Oh. It's one of my favorites. That's probably the best song on that album. Well, I like the one with Ritz too.
I just burped right into the mic.
It happens when you talk for this. Yeah, no, it's crazy because Radioactive to me, I remember.
You know what it was though, Kev?
What?
Have you seen Wayne's World?
Yeah, of course.
I know most people have. It's kind of a rhetorical, but
I don't know these days.
Saying,
most
like,
people have. But yeah,
well,
great movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
but so great movie, by the way. He said,
"Yeah, great movie, by the way." Both. Is there 3? Is there a third one?
Oh, dude, you're funny. So no, that scene where they have this crazy underground show,
mm-hmm.
and they have their steez, and everything's like kind of perfect, and then they get ripped up and thrown into this corporate scene, and then it goes their theme music changes. It's all fucking dressed up to be pretty and
it's not
shit.
the same show anymore.
And that is exactly what happened to me with my first album. Like, even my logo got flipped. They had an art department at Interscope that fucking changed my logo and like put the radioactive symbol and the O of Yelawolf and like orange beanies and like just all kinds of weird, shit that like people think I'm responsible for. So there's so much of that I was just like, what the like wanting to flip over tables. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you doing? They're fucking it up. And then creatively, it was such a rat race to be on that album because like, oh my God, fucking Eminem signed a white boy. What the fuck is going on? I have to be a part of this. And plus, I was buzzing pretty heavy at the time with Trump music and everything that had going on. And then Pooh,
Shout out to Pooh Bear. Shout out to Pooh Bear.
We had Pooh Bear in the studio, whom I love.
Audibles.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Shout out to Audibles too.
Happy birthday. Shout out to Molly Mall,
Wild era at Molly Mall's house.
Bear, J. Dot, Kawan
Yes.
Prather, the whole gang. Parked it in Vegas.
Molly Mall era house. Like,
oh yeah,
that was before it was like on MTV and people really knew who Mall was. Like that was like peak like mysterious random mansion in the.
I love Molly Mall, man. That dude, he like
the best.
My mom came out. Like, look, they became like super friends. He would fly my mom out and just give cart my mom around in a Maybach. You know what I mean? Like just like with a driver. I
went to dinner with you, your mom, and him at the Palms one time.
Oh my God, that was
my
first. That was my first big bill. That was my first big dinner bill.
And your name was it was
like $7,000 to feed y'all motherfuckers. Huh?
Remember, it was the first time you had your name on the Palm sign.
Mm-hmm. Up on the marquee.
Which
the Palms marquee.
Back then, it was Palms was that shit because there was like rain and there was the spot on the fucking roof and
Palm. Me and Travis Bart. That was my highest paying show. Was me and Travis Barker New Year's at the Palms.
I remember
15 minutes, homie. $100K.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Me and fucking.
Well, there was one of the clothing.
Me and Travis was like, "Yup." We fucking split that shit up and dip. Love it.
It was one of the clothing conventions that was in town, and
that shit don't exist no more. The Palms, not the money. The money's still there. Trust me.
No, but I remember me and you went to a Travis suite party, and it was like, they were just giving away tennis shoes and shit from whatever shoe company he had. So I left with like. At the time I'm making like $25,000 a year at that shitty Vegas radio station. So I'm like, how I can have so I'm walking down the fucking elevator with like 12 pairs of shoes to try to fucking sell them. And like all this famous stars and strap shit that I'm like, cool, this shit's going on.
I had my own shoe on Famous.
I think I recall that. Yeah.
Designed it. I drew that motherfucker on paper in the back of the bus. And so there was an opportunity to extend the deal with Famous. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, well, I'm down to do another run, but can I have my own like kind of a subline, which I was like, we'll call it Country Fresh, and then I want a shoe deal. Can I get a shoe? I've always wanted a shoe, so I designed this shoe, a red shoe with.
I remember them.
You remember?
I remember them. They were higher, right?
They were
like high tops.
They were like a chukka boot.
Yeah.
But they had the fringe around the back.
I remember them.
Man,
almost like a Ghostface Wallaby, if you will, ish.
Kind of a Wallaby, a little bit of a Vans chukka boot, kind of a Wallaby, and a moccasin blend.
I do remember them, yes.
Hard ass toe box, by the way. Like the silhouette on this shoe is sick.
They were hard.
And I'm not sure, but I want to say that whoever was running Famous at the time got fired for that shoe because they made too many. they got too stoked on it and made too many shoes. And but that shoe, it
was a unique shoe.
Bro, listen, it got ripped. Vans got a hold of that design. Louis Vuitton got a hold of that design.
That's crazy.
Diamond, what up, Nick Diamond?
Shout out to Diamond.
Diamond got a hold of a little piece of. There was like that fringe off the back of that shoe went crazy.